guys, Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music. We're going to break down this Beatles song right now. And also huge shout out to Boss for sponsoring this video. And they made a killer sounding patch for the Boss Katana. It's totally free in the link down there. So download that link and check out the Boss Katana. And also thanks again to Boss. All right, let's break it down. All right, so we're in drop D tuning. Got this killer sounding patch. The good news about this song is that the right hand pattern doesn't change. You move it all around, but the right hand does the exact same thing the entire time, at least the main guitar part. So what you can do is get into that drop D, that's just dropping just that to D, and then you can just practice the right hand pattern with just a regular D chord. Get it going a little bit to get some muscle memory with your right hand. You could also play this song with a pick and strumming too. And when you do that, then you really have to focus on the chord part. You can kind of mess with both as you're working on it. And I'll give you a few options on that. Okay, let's start with the right hand pattern. D chord, and we're going to pinch, meaning two notes at the same time, the A string and the high E. And I'm going to use my thumb and my middle finger. Then thumb on the open D and index on the open G. So, pinching the A and high E, and then D, G. Then the open D, and then middle finger hits the B string. And then thumb hits the open D. So that's the pattern, but you just have to do it really slow. So pinch A and high E. Then the D, G. Then the open D to B. And then D. Watch again. And when you hear in the song, the first pinch to that B string, those are like accented, right? That's the whole song right there. All right, so that's a really good starting point. Get that going. I've been practicing it for a few days just to get that. All right, so there's a cool little intro, and they're just using triads. So if you looked at a D-shaped triad, you would end up with the 11th fret G and the 10th on the B and high E. But from this thing, classic thing right there, if you just kind of have that underneath, but you start with the ring on the 12 of the G and pinky on the 12 of the high E. Watch, I'm going to do that same right hand pattern. See that? Still that same. Then you just take ring and pinky off. Same pattern. Then move that shape down a whole step. Same pattern. Then we're going to do a D shape right here. So middle finger is on 7 of the high E, index is on 7 of the G, and ring is on 8 of the B. Same right hand pattern. Aren't you glad we did that first? But how cool is that? So from the top, remember this one? That pattern, then these come off. Then a whole step down. Then that D shape. Then that, what we used that shape earlier, but now over here on this little A triad. So 6, 5, 5, same right hand pattern. Pretty cool, huh? Then we're gonna do a piece of a C major triad. And so it looks like this. And I'm using ring finger on 5th fret, pinky on 5th fret B, index on 3rd fret high E, same right hand pattern. And he does it twice on this chord. And then it goes into the main riff of the song, which we haven't even gotten to yet, but we're almost there. So let's just review that intro one more time. Two times on this. And now we're at the main riff. Mark it right here, main riff. So everything I just did there with the main riff, my right hand was just that same pattern the whole time. Now, I have a problem called short, stubby fingers. It's pretty frustrating. My son is now 14 years old. He does not play guitar, and his fingers are about 2 inches longer than mine. So, genetics, right? But so my fingers aren't very long. So I'm pretty sure John Lennon's fingers were longer than mine. So for the first chord, it's D. But the second chord is D over C. And I think he's just putting his pinky down on that 3rd fret A string, and you do that same right hand pattern. My fingers being short, it's not as easy for me. It just kind of craps out on me. So if you have short fingers like me, you do, well, one, if you have long enough fingers, just put your pinky there. And if it's long enough, it can just stay out of the way. And you do that same right hand pattern, and it sounds, I have to do it this way, which I'm going to show you, but it sounds awesome. Okay, so let me just show you the chords. D, D over C, pinky comes off, and no matter how you do the rest, it's going to be this way. Index goes to 2nd fret A string. You don't have anything on the G anymore, and you do that same right hand pattern. And these are just right there from a D chord. And then that slides to the 1st fret, same right hand pattern. So hear how it's crapping out on me? So what I do for the second chord, because my fingers aren't long enough for that to work feasibly for me, I take my ring finger and put it over there, and then my pinky has to grab where my ring finger was to replace it. And that enables me to really get a nice, clean D over C chord, is what it's called. I can play that really well. So my pinky is now where my ring finger was, so my ring finger could go over there. Then, inconveniently, but for the next chord, my index grabs that and my ring now goes back. And I do that. So that's how it's working for me. Even if I strum with a pick, you'll see and so we could call this D, D over C, D over B, D over B flat, or A sharp. So if I do that right hand pattern, here it is again. And then I just have to get it so comfortable that now I can focus on these chord shapes. Get through the first two, and then you go to the change. So C, G, D, and depending on how crazy your fingers are, it's C to G. So you can play C, and then G, because of that drop D tuning, you've got that, but basically, I think the easiest one is you grab these two, and then you do that. Although, yeah. I would just strum it. Two other little things. One, it's basically like a bridge or like a jam. Same right hand pattern if you're playing this version. You'd have a D, and then you do a little piece of that G major triad. So 4, it's still over D, but it's that's 4th fret and then 3rd fret on the B and high E. That's a part of a G major triad. So D, same right hand pattern. This one. Then up a whole step, down a whole step. Round, round, round. And then there's a little tag that is an F. So let me show you that. So it's F, which because of the tuning, just a little turnaround. But the triads are actually... That's a little F here. That's second, first, up a minor third. So then you're on 5, 4, 4. Then just down a half step, right back into the D. you guys enjoyed the video. Also, once again, a huge shout out to Boss, and thank you to Boss for sponsoring the video and making that killer patch for the Boss Katana. Don't forget about that. It's a free download in the link below. Check it out. Thanks again. Hope to see you later.